Okay, so last week on the Tuesday Edge, I talked about how saying it's not my job is quietly killing event careers. And I stand by that. But today I want to talk about the exact opposite of it's not my job. Because the opposite of that phrase is the single decision that changed my career forever. I didn't receive a title change at that moment. I didn't receive a promotion at that moment. But this one decision to use my voice changed my career forever. So the events industry is unique. We have this philosophy that when we're throwing an event, we're all conditioned to be all hands on deck. We pride ourselves in jumping in, doing whatever it takes, and making it work no matter what. But in corporate environments, I've watched something else happen. I have seen people cross their arms and say, that's not my job. Not maliciously, not lazily, but defensively. Because staying in your lane feels safer than stepping outside of it. And taking on more work for an already taxing and exhausting job is less than desirable. But the true problem is when you stay in your lane too long, leadership stops seeing you as someone who can think beyond it. So back in 2017, I was deep in logistics mode. I was planning complex events, managing details, executing flawlessly. I was really good at it. I could plan, manage, and execute an event across the globe, dealing with time zones, language barriers like no other. So there was one event that changed everything for me. When Boral Resources, a global company out of Australia, was acquiring Headwaters, a much smaller company based in Utah, this was a $1 billion acquisition. Employees were nervous, fear was everywhere. Would they lose their jobs? Would leadership change everything? Would they like their new leadership or boss? At the same time, an industry conference was going on in Sarasota. So my CEO suggested hosting a private event for both of the companies. And I could have done what I always have done, book the transportation, sign the BEOs, manage the vendors, execute logistics, and throw in a few creative ideas to make it more fun. But I felt something inside me this time. I said, you can do better on this one. I saw the emotional undercurrent and thought this event can actually do something. This could shape how people actually experience this acquisition. So I did the opposite of it's not my job, and I created a full strategic concept called Charting Your Course with Boral Resources. This was before AI, so I didn't have any tools or shortcuts, just my creative brain and a talented graphic designer at my side. So I built the strategy, the creative, the artwork, the entire experience. And then I had to do the scariest part. I had to say, stop, I have an idea, to a bunch of C-suite professionals. I was just the logistics coordinator. I had an MBA, but imposter syndrome was so loud. Who was I to bring strategy to the table? But I did it anyway, and they approved it. The event and concept not only worked, it was wildly successful, and that moment changed everything for my career. So here's what I learned on that day. Strategy is not a title. Strategy is not only meant for senior level employees. Strategy in events is taking initiative. Saying that's not my job protects your comfort and maybe a small amount of peace just for a moment. But saying, I see a better way, and speaking up, it builds your credibility in your career path as well as your future. Logistics make you very useful in the company. Strategy makes you respected. And once leadership sees you this way, they can't unsee it. If you want to move from planner to strategist, it doesn't start with doing a bunch of more work. It may sound and feel that way at first because that's what you're used to, but it truly starts with thinking differently. Instead of asking, how do we execute this event? Start asking questions like, what is this event meant to change? How do we want people to feel? What would success actually look like? How will we know this mattered? So this isn't about stepping on other people's toes. It's about you stepping up and owning your place at this decision-making table. You don't need an expensive degree. You need curiosity, courage, and the willingness to use your voice. That decision in 2017 launched my corporate event planning and experiential marketing company. It changed the entire trajectory of my career. And I still have the compass from that event somewhere here in my office, just as a reminder. So not just for me to remember that one event, but that memory of the moment. I chose strategy over silence. I changed my career forever and made my own take charge path over my own life. So here's my question for you. Where are you still saying it's not my job when you actually have something valuable to say? Because the opposite of that phrase might be the thing that changes everything for you. And if you're ready to start thinking this way, to design with purpose, emotion, and measurable outcomes, that is the work that we do inside the Education Institute. If you want to keep learning with me here, you can. I have a couple of things to get you started. You can subscribe to the Tuesday Edge. It's my weekly insights on experiential marketing and event strategy. There's some career growth and tips in there too. You can download my free guide below, which is Why Great Events Still Fail to Prevent ROI, to start reframing how success is measured in your events. And if you're ready to go deeper, you can explore the Education Institute, where I teach these strategies alongside professional career development for event and experiential professionals. I am so glad you are here. Take advantage of these freebies and let's get started.